Tonight we're going to be taking a page from Aaron Clary. Wine tipped cigar. Cigarello. Don't smoke these often, but I'm a fan every once in a while. How to be a man in this awful year of our Lord, 2012. This question has had many requests in my inbox. And really it's the sort of question that I'd be far more comfortable if Achilles or Beowulf or Roland were answering it. But you got me, folks. And a man does what he can. How to be a man. What to do with yourself. What should any of us do when we see the rot that's sunk into the bones of this civilization? Other generations of men were taught how to be men. It was in the mother's milk. It was in the culture. They just knew growing up what was expected of them, and they got apprenticeships. They were surrounded by manly men their entire lives that showed them how to become the men that they were going to grow into. What did we get? Saturday morning cartoons and our peers at school, and a Hollywood music culture designed to take money out of our pockets, not to educate us or better us in any manner whatsoever. So that's the problem. So right off the bat, we don't know what a real man looks like. We see cartoons of them on Hollywood movies. The over-masculine, Superman, the Arnold Schwarzenegger, the action movie stereotype. But we don't see real men in our day-to-day lives. So what is a real man? We're going to start and end with Jack Donovan. Any of you asking this question need to buy that man's book, The Way of Men. He gets it. He's studied it. He knows what they are. And if we're very lucky, some female authoress will put together a similar book for women, because women are just as lost. And quite frankly, none of us in the manosphere are qualified to answer the question. But to be a man is to be part of the gang, is to be respected by your fellow men. It's strength, it's valor, it's all these things we intrinsically know. Jack Donovan nailed them for you. So, buy that book. But aside from that, what do I have to say on the topic? How do you start becoming a man? What are the first steps? Well, to start with, accept the fact that you, sir, have low testosterone. It's actually a worldwide problem right now. Nobody knows the cause exactly. Easy living, that doesn't seem to make much sense with different societies, different wealth levels. Propaganda, again. Plastic in the environment, possibly. But the fact of the matter is that for the past 50 years, testosterone levels have been dropping in men. And testosterone is an absolutely critical resource for your body. Testosterone gives you vitality. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's what makes you want to fuck. And it's also what leads to teamwork. High testosterone men are not more violent, except when they run into a cheater. The people that cheat, the people that scam, high testosterone men are more likely to deal with them. But they're not more violent in general. In fact, they are better at working in teams and being peaceable individuals. So how do we go about raising our testosterone levels? I'm going to leave a few resources down below, blogs you should check out. It's not something the medical community likes to talk about, because we all know that men and testosterone are evil. Number one thing, start eating better. Go paleo. Get a diet with high protein, high fat, and stay away from the grains. Stay away from the sugar. Don't eat junk food all the time. Eat your veggies. They're actually good if you know how to cook them. Stay away from the salads. Those are, unless there's chicken on them, they're pretty lame. But most of all, stay away from the junk food. Stay away from the excessive grains. Do not listen to your doctor when they give you diet advice. Next, start working out. These bodies were meant to be used. And if you're not working out, if you're just sitting on the couch, sitting in your office chair, sitting in your classroom, not doing anything, and then pounding 12 beers down on the weekend, you're destroying your body. You're destroying the machine that supports your mind, that supports you. Keep your body healthy. And thirdly, there is actually medical treatment for this in the forms of injections and creams. Again, look into this yourself. This is, if you want to improve yourself, you need to do the research, but this is where you start looking. Fix your testosterone problem. Next, learn game. You don't just learn game to pick up women. You can use game to pick up women. You can go out to the club or go out to the bar on Friday, Saturday night and pick up women using game. If that's all you have to do with your time, then all the power to you. But that's not why you learn game. Why you really learn to understand what women are and how they work. The real reason you do this is because as a man, leadership is your responsibility. You are supposed to be the one offering guidance, offering a path forward, offering control. And any woman who is honest enough to admit it, they all want to find a man worthy of being their leader. They don't want to follow just any man. And your typical feminist bitching is about how they don't want to be a wife to a husband that does not deserve them. They don't want to be led by loser males that are just there because they have a dick, which is about 95% historical fantasy, 5% truth. But they all want a leader they can respect, somebody they can trust to protect them, somebody that isn't a craven crying on their lap every night. They want a husband, not a son. That's the ultimate reason you learn game, is because it is your responsibility as a man, be it straight, gay, whatever. It is your responsibility to be a leader of women and to be a leader of other men. And the fact that you can now pick up women, and because you understand what's going on the back of their head so well that you can give them mind-blowing orgasms, those are just fringe benefits. That's God smiling upon the just. Fix your testosterone problem. Learn game. Now, you need to find a project. There's nothing sadder than how much productive energy is wasted on video games and pointless endeavors nowadays. Let's go back to Fight Club once more. You are not your IKEA sofa. You are not your coffee table. You are what you've accomplished in life. And buying a coffee table is not an accomplishment. Playing into that Skinner box that the video games offer. Getting all the medals or rewards or tokens when you collect 500 turnips. That's not an accomplishment. Go accomplish something real. Which inevitably leads to the question, what the hell should I accomplish? What's worthy of accomplishment nowadays? Joining the factory and rising up the ranks until you're manager? We all know that's not going to happen in this world. And ultimately, what do you get for being a manager in most of these companies nowadays? You get to mind your P's and Q's, you get to administer diversity training courses, you get to bend over for the higher-ups that got there through nepotism. That's not how a man lives. So what should you do? Well, we already mentioned the body, building your muscle, eating healthier, working out. Treat your body as a project. You should be getting stronger and fitter all the time. Your body's getting older, and if you don't do this, you will pay the consequences sooner than you think. So treat your body like the machine that it is. Make that a project. If that's all you can come up with, there's a hell of a lot worse things to do with your time. Another thing you should do is learn history. Not through university courses, they're complete jokes nowadays. You're going to be surrounded by a bunch of retards with no interest in the subject matter that just want to vomit up the professor's opinions and basically have a professor read bedtime stories to them. That's not history. Okay, that's not professional history. But if you're just going to dabble in it, check out Khan Academy. It is free. And the lectures, if you're unfortunate enough to watch them with me, I pause the videos every 5 minutes to explain why everything he just said is wrong. But they are a very good starting point. They are superior to most university lectures that you will find out there. And they will give you the bare bones of history. That way you at least have a grasp of where we are today and where we came from and where we might be going. Khan Academy. Learn some basic history. And beyond that, there's any number of fields that are worth studying. Certainly, economics. As I've pointed out before, Vox Day has links to excellent books on his blog about economics. Murray Rothbard, in particular, is a great place to start. Don't stay away from the mainstream sources, the macro-microeconomic garbage. Start with Murray Rothbard on that. Mathematics. If you have a talent there, study mathematics. If you're interested, learn a musical instrument. You don't have to play a guitar very well to impress girls, you just have to play it adequately. And live music is always better than canned. Aside from that, just look at what are you good at? What do you like doing? Build on those skills. There's no excuse nowadays. You've got Wikipedia. When I'm slow at work, that's what I'm doing, is just looking up whatever catches my fancy on Wikipedia. And finally, I said finally, next. So you've got a project. You're working on your body. You're learning game. Walking with some bloody self-respect because you have high testosterone now and you're working out. What next? Long-term project. Men need to live for a cause. We don't live day to day, and women have a lot of trouble understanding this. This is one of the saddest things about the feminized workplace, is that a woman feels satisfied and satiated when she's part of a team. And the modern workplace just poisons women, giving them this artificial feeling like they're part of the tribe, they're part of the community, they're gathering while the men are out hunting, and look, they have this nice little corporate office environment with parties paid for and so on and so forth. But the party is not, or the corporation is not a real tribe. A real tribe for a woman is the family, it's the community, and the corporation is completely gone 5 years later when she switches jobs. Or when she retires. There's nothing left. There's no community from that. But see, it's designed to satisfy the women. And it doesn't satisfy us because we need a longer term goal. That goal can be your family. If you're lucky enough to find a wife worthy of marriage. Or it can be anything else. It could be restoring an old car. It can be writing a novel. It can be putting together a great video game. You need a long-term goal with your life. You cannot live day to day. We are hunters. Men need a mammoth to chase after. And this one's all up to you, folks. I can't tell you what your mammoth is, but it's going to be based upon the stuff you're already good at and that you like doing. Next, study violence. Because the way of men is the way of violence. A man that has no understanding of violence is not a real man. He's a craven. He's a hanger-on, a dependent. He's not a real man. Read The Art of Warfare, The Book of Five Rings, The Hagakure. Study some basic martial arts. No, learn how to shoot a gun. And buy a gun. If you have the finances for it, and if it makes sense. Canada doesn't make much sense because you can't carry the damn things. But a real man needs to know how violence works, how it operates, because the day may come when it's going to be your soft, fragile bodies between the horrors of war and the warmth of hearth and home. And if you don't know how to use violence, then hearth and home are gone. Study it and learn to understand it. And finally, when you've done this, and we're going to go back to Jack Donovan again, when you've become something worthy of being, find other men like yourselves. Start a gang. Start an organization of brothers that you can trust, where only the men meet for the policy decisions. You take care of the girlfriends and sisters and wives and daughters. But the gang of men is the way of the future. All links down below, of course. Keep the faith, brothers. Arini out.